Howdy everybody, ArgonMatrix here, welcome to episode 123 of The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Let's do it. Blue Baby to Delirium, one of the only achievements, character-wise, that we still have to get unlocked, besides Greedier Mode. Always that little caveat. 66GD YRTJ. Alright. So, we've had a couple times in the past with this. I don't know if Blue Baby is necessarily our magnum opus here, but, we have had at least like one or two different failed attempts at this Blue Baby Delirium nonsense, and I am not feeling any different, to be perfectly honest with you about this one. I'm feeling as confident as I always do starting a run. You know, we're not off to a very good start here because the item room is not literally next to our spawn room, but that's being too pedantic even for me, even for my standards. But I do have something of a goal on this run, and that's I would like to try and use the poop productively, because on our previous Blue Baby video, I did badmouth the poop quite a bit, and someone did call me out on it in the comment section. You know who you are, and I realized that maybe I was being a little too harsh on the poop. The poop does have its uses. It does have some good defensive uses, as was pointed out. Like if an enemy is got you in a corner or something, you can sort of use it as a makeshift barricade almost. Like you can, if I put that down a little bit, or I could have maybe walled that guy in or something. Not that that would have been the best case to use it, because I'd have to shoot at the poop anyway to even hit him. But at the same time, it's that sort of thing that you're looking for. My god, I actually picked up bombs, dude. That's the first time in forever. I just got done with the it's the key achievement, so that's literally like the first time in over 24 hours that I picked up bombs in this game. Which, I mean, it's not saying that much. How often am I going to pick up bombs throughout the rest of my life with this game? But goddamn, it's a nice feeling, man. Alright, how do you want to do this? You want to do, like, one of these? Well, that was almost good, but it turned out to be actually really just embarrassing. Let's head back around this way, because despite not wanting to do too much backtracking, we do want our first item room at the very least. I think that's justifiable to get our first item room. There we go. And we got some keys, man. Oh, keys and bombs and coins, and we can actually take all these consumables. Not the red hearts, so you can never take red hearts as Blue Baby. A single teardrop rolls down my cheek. And I was, in fact, right. I did turn out to be right about about being able to take battery charges on that achievement. You know what? I do this a lot, where like I talk about like the previous episode or a couple episodes ago or whatever a lot in like the first half of each video. Let's not do that this time. It's the key achievement. It's done. It's over with. It is now in the past. Let's focus on this run and actually like getting to and defeating Delirium with Blue Baby. Fruitcake, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a linchpin in that process. I don't know if it's going to be one of the key factors in actually accomplishing this, but, you know, gives us rainbow tears literally on our face. It's pretty sweet. And I don't think it's that bad of an item, honestly. I think if you don't have anything else to really rely upon, and like if you don't have like the best base damage or tier stats or whatever, Fruitcake can come through in the clutch for you, because you get those all those like different random tier effects. Like we got a Godhead tier there, which is pretty sweet. We got an Explosivo one and a Holy Light shot, and you get all sorts of nonsense going on that really help up your damage invisibly in a sort of way. So even if I don't mention Fruitcake for like the rest of this entire video, let it be known that I am appreciating its contributing towards the success of this run today. How much more formal can you get, man? At any rate, off to a pretty decent start here. We've got Blood Clot now, which is apparently a better stat upgrade than I gave it credit for. I've been informed of that. Like I never really gave Blood Clot really the time of day, just because it's not really a direct damage upgrade. It only applies to half your tiers, but half your tiers is like still a lot, and also apparently it's like double damage on half those tiers. So it's like, okay, that's a little extreme. So maybe I need to learn to appreciate that a little bit more. Not that I didn't appreciate it before necessarily, but I didn't always embrace it necessarily. Regardless, we are doing pretty good on our consumable game here. We actually have a lot of money and stuff going for us here, so happy about that. It might be worth actually checking out the shop on this run. That was sweet. We got some sweet tier effects on this room, man. We had like a Serpent's Kiss, give us a black heart there. We got a Greed tier there. Had like a what was it, euthanasia tier. It is good to see that they actually did add like the new tier effects into the pool of fruitcake effects instead of just leaving it as it was, because fruitcake was an item before Afterbirth Plus. So good to see that they're backtracking and making sure to do their due diligence, which is what I was actually about to say, due diligence in that regard. Black Bean is fine, man. It's Richard Fine Man. Do you think he got a lot of ladies because his last name was literally Fine Man? He is a fine man, an upstanding member of society. What do we got in here? We do have a Spirit Heart for sale, which actually may well be worth it. Jar of Flies is a good item though, and I probably would like to save up for that instead. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd like to get both if I could, but if I have to pick one, Jar of Flies is what I'm going with. It might make me feel a little silly if I if I end up getting a deal with the devil and not being able to take it because I don't have this extra Spirit Heart down here, but it's okay. I mean, in general, 2 Spirit Hearts and 3 Spirit Hearts, there's not a huge difference there in terms of being able to take a deal with the devil. You'd probably be able to take it regardless, so despite the fact that my goal, I said, was to use poop productively, and I only used it like once, and that one time was pretty terrible over the course of this run, I think it's indisputable that Jar of Flies is a better option for us. Honestly, like, it's going to be so much nice offensive potential that the minor defensive potential of the poop will be able to live without it, I think. Although, I have to say, Gluttony is giving me a bit of a run for my money today. That's okay. There's a little bit of an asshole room, honestly, like double Gluttony in the basement, too. It's kind of extreme, man. Obviously, it wasn't the worst, because I still managed to deal with it without dying, but I mean, realistically, I've probably seen harder rooms in the basement, too. But at the same time, I just feel like I need someone to blame, I guess. At any rate, we got Little Horn here. We fire a Little Horn shot at him right off the bat as well. Our science shot. Science! I wish those science shots could kill bosses outright, instead of just being one-hits on, oh god. That was the worst dodge I think I've ever made in the history of time. We're going to go ahead and take experimental treatment because it could give us HP. It did not, but it gave us damage downgrade and a tears upgrade. I mean, it's about equivalent, I guess. We got Incubus here, which is great, but I can't take it. Wah. At least we got a Spirit Heart out of the deal. No big deal. At the very least, this does open up the potential for Mega Satan on this run. And Mega Satan is usually a good avenue to get to Delirium if you don't manage to make it to the Hush fight. It's a 50% chance, so it's our best outlet for Delirium if we don't make the Hush fight. Which we may well not. We actually are a little bit behind the 8-ball right now. At least for, like, boss rush. For the Hush fight itself, I think we're still pretty much on par here. You know, for every, like, good effect that I get out of a $3 bill, not $3 bill, but fruitcake, I seem to have, like, every other tier, like, explode in my face. At least that was my experience on that room, and I was not super fond of it. This experimental treatment actually, like, kind of really fucked me, because my speed is lower, my damage is lower. It's just not a good time. I'd like to speak with my lawyers, honestly. We got Are You a Wizard, which is classic Blue Baby item, because Blue Baby is clearly a wizard. What do we got in this room here? Might be worth fighting for. Probably not. It would be a smart idea to actually to let this Are You a Wizard pill run its course before entering this room, but I'm not a smart man. I live my life like there's no tomorrow, and now there is no tomorrow for this incarnation of Blue Baby. I'm so sorry. We'll give it another shot, though. CP0ZPX13. That's fine, that's fine. You know, runs come, runs go. That one was a weird one for sure. I don't think it, like, was necessarily the worst run of all time. I think it was mostly on me for losing that one. But at the same time, come on, man. Didn't get that much HP. I mean, you should really expect that as Blue Baby, to not get too much HP, like right off the bat especially. Because obviously HP is a bit of a touchy subject for Blue Baby. I'm actually quite surprised they didn't take damage trying to walk in and grab that card there. Just because I was not focusing at all on trying to like walk carefully in between the spikes. I was just like, I've done this a million times before, I can do it again. And apparently I was right. Apparently I didn't need to focus that much after all. Maybe there's a little more leeway between those spikes than I initially thought. Oh god. I was trying to use that poop to like maybe block a shot or something there and hide behind it. It actually had the opposite effect and it just could have like pushed me towards the enemy. Like an over enthusiastic soccer mom or something. Go get him, honey. Go show little Thomas who's boss. Why did the name Thomas jump to mind there? That's weird. Not that Thomas is a weird name, mind you. I know quite a number of upstanding, awesome young people, and old people, and people in between of all ages named Thomas. But it's just like not a common name, I feel like. I feel like it might have been more common like back when I was a kid. I feel like I knew like a couple Thomases. But now I feel like I never meet a Thomas. Times are changing, man. Maybe that's indicative of what times were actually like in like the 1990s or something. I don't know. I can't claim to be any sort of expert on baby names or the culture they are in. We did get an HP upgrade though, so that's pretty sweet, I would say. Quite lovely if I say so myself. So do you save this hermit card for like boss rush or something, or do you use it early on to try and actually get into a shop? I think I'm probably going to end up using it a little earlier here, provided I don't find too many more keys, because I need to use these keys sparingly, but I would still like to get into a shop. That was a really bad dodge. I was trying to dodge behind the rock, and I wound up like underjudging my movement or something. We did get a golden key here, so that kind of assuages our key concerns for this floor anyway. Assuage. I always feel like such a fucking nerd, or like someone who's trying way too hard when I use that word. It's just a word that's constructed in a way to make you sound super haughty and like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's talking about, or he thinks he knows what he's talking about, using assuage. Is that even how it's pronounced? Assuage? Or is it ass wage? I don't think it's ass wage. That'd be a little hilarious though. Power pill is whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and keep exploring the floor before fighting that boss, just to try and find some HP. Because I would like an extra spirit heart or two before I actually go into the boss fight there. We did get an eternal heart, which will be a spirit heart eventually, but it's not quite what I need right now. Because what I need is to have at least 4, preferably like 5 or more spirit hearts going into the boss fight in order to secure a deal with the devil. Potentially, in all likelihood, anyway. I mean, I'm going to get a deal with the devil regardless, because I can't take red heart damage. But being able to take that deal is a whole nother ball game. So we got halitosis here, / dead tooth. I always get the description and the name actually confused. Giving us this little extra effect here, which is not the worst in the world, but, you know, not the best either. Alright, what do we got in here? We got fucking Steam Sale. I wish I could buy it. I could afford it. I can almost afford it. I should maybe be using the poop and getting some money out of that. I don't know. God damn. Alright, I'm gonna check out the arcade actually, and maybe be able to like gamble my way up to 15 cents or something. Let's try it. I mean, I could just... is that worth it though? It might not be worth it. Let's check this poop first. See if we can get just a random coin out of this. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and try and gamble here and see what I can get maybe. Even if I can just get some like spirit hearts out of this, I'll be pretty happy with it. I don't know though, the blood bank might have been the way to go here. Ooh, Skittle could be fun. Oh, no Skittle for me, not yet anyway. I just so rarely play these arcade machines. Let's just spend all our money today here, man. Hopefully get some kind of return on our investment. Like a single dime that's top of the line could make a huge difference for us. Ooh. I was actually kind of hoping that would blow him up and we maybe get some money out of it, but no such luck, unfortunately. Almost out of money here, so this was probably not, in retrospect, maybe the best use of my money of all time, but, you know, it's fine. We do have one bomb here. I can blow something up, and it might be worth blowing up the shopkeeper, honestly, or maybe just this. I think this is probably a smarter idea. Well, I mean, we have golden keys, I guess. Ooh, that's fine by me. Gives us an extra bomb at least to go ahead and do this. Well, that was money well spent. Goddamn, now I need one more cent again to like buy that spirit heart. If I could. If I could be so kind as to ask for a spirit heart. Let's go ahead and play this guy a little more. I know. I need to go faster on this run. That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and buy the spirit heart now. I need to go faster on this run, and obviously arcades are not conducive to speed on most runs. But I felt the need to do that just because I have been neglecting arcades a lot lately, and that's not a great reason, admittedly. However, it's my game, and I'll play it how I want, basically. And also, I'm not feeling in a super powerful position right now, and I just wanted to be able to sort of have the best possible chance of getting a deal with the devil that I can actually afford coming up here, because those deal with the devil items, man, could be the difference between life and death. Who knows? Well, there goes my chance anyway. The spirit heart I paid for is officially kaputski. Well, as long as they don't take too much more damage here, like that last fistula part doesn't need to hit me. There we go. We actually got Mr. Dolly, which is pretty sweet. It'll let us afford to deal with the devil. Hopefully, anyway. We got Horror Babylon, which is huge, actually. Let's try and squeeze in between here. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Horror Babylon will give us just a straight-up damage upgrade for the entire rest of the game, because we cannot have any red hearts. So I'm totally fine with that, honestly. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, man. It's the kind of shit I need to be able to afford. Head of the Keeper is awesome. Getting that early on in the game is actually a really nice benefit. So we'll be able to hopefully make some good use out of our shops in the near future. Or the late future, you never know. It is kind of a slow burn with Head of the Keeper. Especially with like 0 luck, but... Does luck actually affect Head of the Keeper? It must, right? I think it must affect the drop rate on that. What I do know is that if I get like a sack head or something in addition to Head of the Keeper here, we'll really be rolling, because I know for a fact that sack head can drop sacks, or that Head of the Keeper can drop sacks if you have sack head, which is kind of a ridiculous combination that I didn't fully expect. We got Brown Nugget here, which while not being strictly better than the poop, I would say, it is interesting. It's one that we just recently unlocked. I forget what the actual unlock was for this, but we did unlock it just like in a recent video, like the past couple, like 3 or 4 videos or so. And basically what it does is it's a rechargeable item that like it recharges over the course of a single room. And you can put down little fly turrets in places to sort of help you out. They don't get like your tier effects or anything. That would be kind of insane. It would basically just be a strictly better version of the sprinkler. But it's still a nice little added bonus. You can just kind of stick in the middle there, and then if you really want to, like if you get like get an odd leaf or something going with this, you know, you could be rolling. Just could be a millionaire with these flies. And became a zillionaire. Look there, it's Aloysius O'Hare, the man who learned how to bottle air. That's not how the song goes. That's not the melody at all. But pardon me, I've only heard the melody of that song, the introductory song from the Lorax, like once in my life. I've like never even seen the Lorax, but there was that brief stint on YouTube. It might still even be going on, I don't know, where people took those songs from the Lorax and were like, you know, it's this song, but O'Hare wants to die. I don't know. It was a weird time. It's basically like the same sort of thing as the Lazy Town remixes, where it's like God, what's even the name of that song now? I can't even think about it. It's like We Are Number One. That's the name of the song. People just be like, we are number one, but every time they say one, it gets even more dank, and it's like. It was like just a weird time on YouTube, man. I'm pretty sure some people are still going strong with that, and I had my time of watching those videos and having a good time with that, like laughing at all that stuff, but you know, that's in the past now. So blank card would be a sweet get for us if we can somehow afford it here. I mean, so would 9 volt and blank card in tandem would be sweet. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it, though. If we can get a nickel from a single one of these guys, we can actually be in business. We actually got it from both of them. So there we go. Blank card is awesome. And would I rather have blank card Death or blank card Hermit? I think the answer there is pretty clear. We can go ahead and buy the Spirit Heart as well and get a move on with our bad selves. We already did get the item room on this floor. It was Brown Nugget. So let's go ahead and just move on up here. Granted, blank card Death is not the greatest item. It's at least not the greatest like boss killing item in the game. And we'll probably be looking to replace the Death card with something else eventually, but for now, it'll help us with some rooms for sure. Help us clear out the riffraff and like if we like run across a room that has like a bunch of tiny enemies, that's where the Death card really tends to shine. And those rooms are a little more common towards the beginning of the game here, so we have plenty of time in order to make use of this. We did get the wire coat hanger there, which is pretty good. Puts us down to 5 tier rate, which is the cap for right now. Then we'll move on down, man. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Blue Baby Fights Delirium. Hopefully. Hopefully this is that run. You do have to be a little bit patient, I guess would be the word, with blank card Death, because the Death card effect, like if you use it too early on a room when enemies are still spawning in, it just won't do anything for you at all. So keep that in mind if you're in this boat with me, if you're riding this train all the way to the end, all the way to Tegucigalpa or whatever. Or is it Tegucigalpa? Tegucci. What do we got in here? We got Gimpy, which I think is worth taking, because it is an outlet for Spirit Hearts to appear, if in not the greatest circumstances of all time, but you know what, any Spirit Hearts I can take is fine by me. What do we got in here? We have just a regular chest. I don't know why they ever just put regular chests in those boss trap rooms. In mob trap rooms, I can understand that, but when you have to like fight like 2 or 3 waves of bosses in order to get the contents of just like a single random chest, when is that ever really worth it? I mean, it hasn't stopped me in the past sometimes from making that mistake, but like really, objectively speaking, you should not be doing that most of the time, unless you're extremely strapped for consumables and also have a powerful enough run to warrant it. Which I'm not, and I don't. I mean, I am kind of strapped for bombs, I guess. And I am a little powerful with like Core Babylon on my side, but... and all these tiers upgrades too, I guess. But it ain't gonna be enough to defeat Delirium, I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much with certainty. I don't know why some of my tiers like stick to enemies and they're like white or something. I think what it might be, because like I just get like these random white tiers that remind me of like the egg sack tiers that just stick to enemies sometimes. But what I think that actually is like you can see a little bit of like a white flicker sometimes in the animation of these coin tiers as they spin through the air. And I think what that is the tier getting stuck to the enemy via Snot Goblin. Or Nose Goblin or whatever it is. Nose Goblin, Snot Magic, something or other. Who knows? Whatever that trinket is. I think it's that sticking at that exact point in the animation, and I turned into Porky Pig all of a sudden. Man, I need the money here. I don't need the money, but I would like 2 more cents in order to be able to afford champion belt there. In fact, I'd like maybe like 7 more cents in order to be able to afford champion belt, as well as the Spirit Heart and win. I don't know if 7 cents will actually buy us the win necessarily, but we do have enough for champion belt now. I don't know where that extra, I thought I only like, picked up like 1 coin there, but apparently I got another one from somewhere, which is fine by me. I actually got another 2 from somewhere. Go ahead and buy champion belt here. Damage and challenge up. The challenge up I rarely ever notice, or if I do, then it's like it's negligible, I think, compared to the actual damage upgrade you get out of it. There we go. We also got PJs, which is totally awesome. Makes up for the fact that I will not be able to afford that Spirit Heart back in the shop. And we are down into the depths now, or Necropolis if you prefer. I don't strictly know what the difference is between the depths and Necropolis. All I know is that Necropolis is generally harder, I think. Let me know if I'm wrong on that one. Yeah, I figured this wasn't necessarily the greatest room to use Blank Card Death, because the ghosts tend to have a decent amount of HP, but you know what, I think it actually worked out fairly decently regardless. Having so much money, I'm so happy with that. So happy. So Yoshi. I feel like this trinket, Nose Goblin, whatever the hell it is, it's like just about as good as the actual item that gives the same exact effect, which is Sinus Infection, I believe. Sinus Infection, it doesn't make it so every tier sticks to your enemies. That would be way too overpowered. It just gives you the chance for it. But I feel like the chance you get from Nose Goblin here is basically like just as good. I mean, it's probably noticeably different if you just compare the two items side by side. But just from anecdotal evidence here, I'm getting this effect to trigger actually way more frequently than I would have expected. There we go. We have Sister Maggie here, which is not super great, but is a contributing factor towards the conjoined transformation, if we're at all interested in that. The conjoined transformation, ugh, I got a stuffy nose. It's important to be able to make fun of yourself, as they say. Maybe, no, I have enough consumables. Not really my jam, not this time anyway. We're still rocking out with this death card though, so maybe it is worth fighting for that, just in case there's a card in that chest or something, but it's too far gone now, man. I'm actually gonna go ahead and pop a bomb down here, hopefully get a nice card out of some of these skulls or something. No luck, unfortunately, but that's fine. Ooh, no card. You know, it's like not like the death card has been bad for me necessarily with blank card here. It's just I'm in the mood for something new now. I've seen what the death card can do. I'm happy with it. I'll stick it out until something better comes along. But really hoping that something better comes along sooner rather than later. So this compass would be very much appreciated if I could buy it. Don't have any bombs to bomb the shopkeeper right now, but I will definitely try and get enough money here in order to afford that, because that would speed things up exponentially, which is kind of what we need right now. I'm going to go ahead and fight the Fallen, hopefully get some money out of Head of the Keeper. Is it worth it to blank card death here? Maybe, honestly. Just to deal damage to both of them at the same time. Thank you, Gimpy, for that. We also got Book of Belial here, which I'm going to take just into this room in case it's Krampus. It is not, but it is a good deal with the devil, for sure. I'm going to take both of these. Am I going to take both of these? It will put me down to 2 hearts. Probably not a good idea. Maybe I am a little bit of a baby back bitch in that regard, but I feel like I'm gonna need this HP. Just call it a hunch. Call it a hunch. Call it a hunch. How many times can I repeat it before you just call it a hunch? Please, like, call it a hunch. Have you called it a hunch yet? I'm actually like trying to be serious. Like, if you the person watching it are not audibly saying that, like, oh, it was a hunch, then I'm just gonna have to keep saying it until you do. Of course, I'll never know if you do actually, so I'm gonna have to stop and move on with this commentary eventually. This has been a weird episode, and I'm sorry about that. Sometimes the commentary does go a little bit off the rails when I get hungry, and admittedly I have not had lunch yet today, which is probably my bad. I feel like I play better on a full stomach anyway, so I should probably go and do that after this recording, or even in the middle of this recording, if I want to have the best chance at beating Delirium. But the run is fairly powerful on its own here. It is well on its way to beating Delirium, if not quite powerful enough just yet. There we go. Got a chest here. A chest you may open. Inspect. Backstabber. Backstabber is not necessarily the item I've been looking for. You know, like, the item room items that we've gotten so far have not been the greatest, I have to say. throughout the course of this run. At least not over the past like couple floors anyway. We got Sister Maggie and Backstabber as our last 2 item rooms, which is pretty bad, all things told. Like, not the worst I've ever seen, but goddamn is it close. By a different toke, though, our shops and Deals with the Devil have actually been not A+, but certainly at least like B+. As B, as in bison, not D+. That would be pretty bad, actually. There we go, got a ton of money out of that. Hopefully we'll be able to afford something out of the Hush shop in the future, provided we can make it there in time, which I think we're well on track to, especially with the compass on our side now. We're actually almost on track to make it to boss rush here, because this is the depths 2. So if I can do that, I would like to see what boss rush has to offer at least, especially if I can grab like a teleport card or something on the way there. Of course, it looks like I might not be able to get that lucky. We'll see though. We shall see. Go grab another key there. Like, our consumable game so far has been actually like really, really good, except for bombs. That's the one sticking point in this run, and it has come back to bite us in a couple instances. Like, we haven't gotten some tinted rocks and stuff that we otherwise might have been able to. But I think we're still doing okay. I think the other consumables that we've gotten so far have mostly made up the difference there. Let's go ahead and try and beat Mom in rapid fashion here. Need to be here in the next like 10 seconds or so if we want to even see what boss rush has to offer. It might or might not be worth fighting. We'll see here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Polaroid and move on to boss rush. We have Cricket's head. Ooh, God. This could be worth it. It could go all the way. He's gonna do it. Here we go. We got 13 damage, 13.28 to be precise. Let's go. Let's rock out. Now, obviously, blank card death is not going to be that beneficial throughout boss rush here, because, as we've stated previously, death is not a great card against most bosses. However, every little bit of damage is going to help. But you probably want to save death card for the bosses where it actually will make something of a difference, like segmented bosses or bosses who spawn little minions a bunch or something like that. Use it like here, maybe. Or just save it towards like the end of a boss fight, when a boss is right on the cusp of death. For the most part, though, as long as we don't take too much damage over the course of this, I'm feeling fairly confident with how this run is panning out so far. Yeah, like Duke of Flies here is a pretty good, Duke of Flies plus Dangle, actually, pretty good option for blank card death. So they just spawn so many little minions, but Duke of Flies actually died before I could even really do anything about him. Alright, we got Death in the cage here. He heard that I was using his card, and he came running, man. He's like, oh man, someone's actually using blank card death. I feel so honored. I have to see them. Oh god, I'm dead now. It's the power of blank card death. I don't know why death sounds like this, but it sounds like he's been smoking for fucking 20 years. I guess that's what happens when you smoke for 20 years, is you become death, destroyer of worlds. Gonna do that. Probably should have actually used the blank card death effect there a little earlier, seeing as I was fighting the Hollow. Wish I actually had it for Brownie here, but not everyone can be a winner. Oh god, my nose is starting to get a little runny. I need to have like Kleenex on hand or something, man, at like all times in this room, because I swear the amount of times that I have a recording where I just have to like wipe my nose is like absolutely absurd. Should not be happening this frequently. Go ahead and pop the blank card death to help separate Fistula a little bit better. Like Cricket's head, you can see just by the amount of progress we've made on this boss rush pretty easily so far. You can see that Cricket's head was absolutely worth fighting for, I think. I don't know if it's going to be the difference maker, but I feel like it's going to definitely be a contributing factor towards whether we can beat Delirium on this run or not. But I don't know if it's going to be necessarily the difference between life and death, but Cricket's head is a good enough upgrade that it could be the difference between life and death. We'll see. This is not necessarily the best time to use blank card death, but I'm going to do it anyway. Really hoping to get some gimpy payouts in the near future here, if I do take more damage, which I'm liable to, I would say. Oh, I can't fly. I just like walked right into that creep. For some reason I thought I could fly. I don't know why, but I cannot fly. Alright, we got Steven and Mask of Infamy here. Not strictly the greatest potential for blank card death. I don't know what my obsession necessarily is with trying to make blank card death work. I could just let it sit by the sidelines and focus on actually just hitting the enemies, which has been doing wonders so far, admittedly. It's like actually just absurd damage. Tier rate of 5 and 13 damage is like really, really good. I don't think you need me to tell you that necessarily. You can see it for yourself here. Apparently the Gurglings are actually a little squishier than I anticipated, because the death card put them like 1 or 2 hits away from death there, which is pretty interesting. Here we go. I feel like only 2 or 3 more waves to go, or it could just be done right now and give me the Rosary. That's also totally fine in my book. It means we're probably going to encounter the Bible at some point in the future here, but you know what? I think the HP injection we got out of it is more than worth the cost. Especially as the Bible could actually help us if we get it early enough to defeat It Lives. We'll see, though. I wonder if anything special happens if you use the Bible on Delirium. I very highly doubt that it directly kills Delirium like it does with It Lives and Mom. It probably has more of the same effect as it does if you use it on other story-based bosses, like it just kills you. But I'm not going to play with fire if I get the chance, even. Go. Trying to think of something to bring up here, but you know what? When lack of commentary comes, just let it come naturally, man. I'm drowsy. I'm drowsy as in our pill rotation. Ooh, that's so good to know, actually. It's the pure white pill, I believe, is what that one was. So if I come across that again, like in the Hush Shop or something, or just naturally, you never know when it's gonna pop up, but you need to make sure to grab that at all costs. Because having that for both the Hush fight and the Delirium fight, I mean, that would be the best of both worlds, right? If you could get placebo plus I'm drowsy or something, I'd be living the dream, honestly. I was a little worried for a second that guy was just never gonna pop up because he had the nose goblin tier on him. I think that might have used to have been a bug, but I think they patched it recently. Because I'm fairly certain I saw some scuttlebutt about that. Like, people were like, man, Sinus Infection is really great, except when you get it on a host. And because then he just never pops up. And if you don't have any bombs to escape the room, then you're just kind of done for. It's like, yeah, that really does suck, and that should not have been designed that way. If it ever was. I don't know if that was actually a thing, or if I just dreamed that up, but pretty sure. Okay. Well, all the HP we got out of the Rosary is officially gone, which is pretty upsetting, especially because that only happened pretty recently. But that's okay, we will persevere regardless. Give me some Spirit Hearts in here. Well, that's fine. I mean, it's a Black Heart, so effectively the same as a Spirit Heart. Got Death here. Hey, you got a great card, man. Been using it to good effect so far. Thank you so much. Should show you something that, oh, fuck you. Can I even, nope. Okay, well, probably wouldn't have been able to take it anyway. It's fine. Just goes to show how good Death is, though, that he's the only horseman that has a card named after him in this game. I mean, the cards are technically just named after, like, the tarot cards. Pretty sure, but so, like, we are actually literally one hit away from death right now, which is not a position I wanted to find myself in at any point in this run. And it just kind of snuck up on me here, but I have now realized, oh shit, I should really actually be focusing. Not that I wasn't focusing before, I don't think I've even gone off on any tangents on this run, which is pretty rare for me. However, clearly something has gone wrong in the process of this run for me to be in this position. We're Regardless, as long as I can survive, I should be able to make it to the blue womb, and then hopefully the blue womb will have some items or stuff for sale in the shop that give me the benefit I need in order to actually succeed against the Hush, because I'm not feeling super confident in my chances right off the bat here. If you're kind, you'll drop an Eternal Heart. You didn't. Wait, you did! It's just underlaid underneath a red heart. You sly dog. I think that actually does give me an extra hit, so thank goodness for that. I mean, I don't know for sure that it gives me an extra hit, but I really hope it does. Like, it should, like, if I take another hit, I think I'll be knocked down to half of a Spirit Heart. That's the idea. Alright. Ooh, God. This is risky, man. Especially without flight. I'm gonna have to try it, though. Oh, shit. Okay, we got Empty Vessel there, which is absolutely worth taking. The Bible, not so much. Because Empty Vessel does give me Spirit Hearts, right? I'm not crazy. Ah, yeah. Okay, give me 2 Spirit Hearts. Neither of these other ones do, though, so I can't take either of them. It was great, though. Explosive Diarrhea is not so great. One makes you small is... that's whatever. Oh, so good. So good. Okay, our death card is actually, like, stuck over these spikes there. Oh, but I have flight now, so I can actually just go take it. Totally didn't internalize that I actually got Empty Vessel from that deal with the devil. So this room, like, single-handedly, practically, and it still hasn't quite saved the run. I was about to say single-handedly saved the run. It single-handedly made this run much more comfortable. It still requires a decent amount of input from me in order to actually succeed here. Well, apparently hosts had been fixed, but these guys not so much, so, you know, I'm just gonna have to say sayonara, glad I have a bomb, and get a move on here. We only have a minute to get to and defeat It Lives. Thankfully, we have the compass telling us exactly where we need to be. It looks like we might have a couple rooms regardless. Death. Love the way he says that, man. Love the cadence of his voice. Not quite enough to take out any of these guys, but certainly softened them up. That is not an I'm drowsy pill. I feel like oftentimes the orange pill is I'm drowsy. I don't know why. Maybe that's just anecdotal evidence on my part, but regardless. Ow. Well, we got Gimpy out of that at least, so that's not all bad. Get in there, grab all that. Move on here. We got like 20 seconds, so let's make it count. I don't know. I may not be able to defeat or to get to the blue womb here. It's going to be a close call for sure. Oh, I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it. Okay, we got it. We got it. We can't head into our deal with the devil, but we already seen what it is. We didn't even get one anyway, so that is fine. Whew. Just by the skin of our fucking teeth, man. And not in too bad of a position either. Actually have a full row of Spirit Hearts. Okay, so we have enough keys to actually make use of everything in here. Bomb bag is fine. Would you rather have Locust of Conquest or Nose Goblin? I think the answer is actually pretty obvious. Come back to that one, I think. Let's see what we got over here. Here, I guess you take Linger Bean just because it's not an active item. It's not great either, but still better. Black Candle you take here, as well as Broken Stopwatch, and really hope that you do not get the I'm excited effect on like the Hush fight or the Delirium fight. That should be a major kick in the fucking head. Take that Spirit Heart, grab this as well. It's the Moon card, which may actually be worth more to me right now than Blank Card Death. I know, it's blasphemous to say. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm excited. Alright, let's see here. Would you rather have an extra speed, a little bit of speed? I mean, we're already pretty fast, so I think I'll just take Big Fan for the extra protection here. And I'm going to go ahead and bomb some stuff. See, the problem right now for me is that I do not know when I'm excited runs out. I obviously can't head into the Hush fight right now. I'm pretty sure I'm still under the effects of I'm excited. So we're just going to have to kind of like hang out here for a bit, I think. Until I'm excited wears off, until I'm like confident that I'm excited is worn off, because I'm pretty sure not even like the music will change for when I'm excited actually does trigger. So let's go ahead and donate our money here. Hopefully spend a decent amount of time being able to donate this. We're actually so small that like standing behind the donation machine, we're not even touching it, which is kind of hilarious. I'm gonna wait until the 33-minute mark up on like the top of the screen there in order to head into the Hush fight. That's when I think I'm excited will be done. You know what, in the meantime, I'm actually going to go ahead and cut the video here, because we're up to like 45-ish minutes. This could easily go on to be an hour or longer, so I think I'll take this opportunity to cut the video and split it here just to avoid any sort of corruption. So I will be right back with the Hush fight. Alright guys, I'm back. I've waited till around 33 minutes on the timer here. Let's hope that's enough and we'll head into the Hush fight here. Really gonna hope that I'm excited does not trigger at some point in this fight, because that'll make my life a living nightmare. So far so good, it seems. Because I think the I'm excited pill, the effect like triggers 3 times over 90 seconds. And I'm pretty sure over a minute and a half has passed since we first took it. Alright. We actually have a really good thing going on here with Nose Goblin on the Hush fight, because he does not like teleport around or anything. So these Nose Goblin tiers should never go away. They should be dealing a constant stream of damage to him over the course of this fight, which is really awesome. It makes it a very powerful upgrade against the Hush. Won't be so powerful against Delirium, I know, but every little bit counts, man. It's like almost... I almost want to say that this is up there with... that this trinket, I mean, is up there with the best of them. Like, up there with the Cancer and Curved Horn trinkets. It is really, really good. Like I said, it's basically the same as having sinus infection. I don't notice any sort of appreciable difference myself. Let's give the Hush a little bit of like a coin beard here if we can. Just try and circle his big old dumb chin with coins. Coin tiers, I should say, because there are a lot of coins on the ground, so I don't want you to get confused. So we are actually like sort of just disintegrating the Hush, I feel like. It's not the fastest Hush fight you could ever imagine, I'm sure. There have been some pretty ridiculous things that people have done to make the Hush fight, like I think there are people who have like tested, can you one-shot the Hush? And the answer turns out to be yes. This phase of the Hush, I should clarify, not like the first phase. The first phase is easy enough. You probably could one-shot that like on a realistic run. It'd be a really, really, really good realistic run, but still realistic. One-shotting this phase of the Hush fight, I don't think is very realistic without like some sort of a cheat engine to give you every single possible upgrade in the game, like multiple times, in order to get the highest damage theoretically possible. Okay. A lot of nonsense going on here. So many nubs, man. Look how many spawned over on this side of the screen. But I will persevere. Apparently those coins actually, or like the Snot Goblin tiers, I keep calling them Snot Goblin, I think it's actually Nose Goblin. They do seem to go away at some point, or else the Hush did something to make them go away, because he doesn't have nearly as many on him as he once did. Quite clearly. But still, they are having a very appreciable impact on him, because I think each one of those is actually doing like the same amount of damage I would do per tick if shooting at him. So it's basically like I just never stop shooting at him even when I'm across the fucking screen, which is really amazing. So that is awesome. We got our money is maxed out. I could check for like lucky pennies and all that, but I have more respect for your time than that, which is a little funny to say, being that this video is already like about 50 minutes long or so. So really, like, there's no reason to use blank card plus the moon necessarily. The moon on its own is really the only benefit that I need. But it will be a very nice benefit because it'll allow me to teleport out of the Delirium fight if need be. If I accidentally just like wander into the fight just by exploring here. So I'm safe to actually enter any boss room that I come across, which is a good feeling. Actually, there may be a good reason to use blank card with the moon, because it'll make it so I don't consume the moon, which like normally that wouldn't really matter that much. I'm gonna go ahead and take this actually. I mean, I shouldn't. We could get a better spacebar item, admittedly. But I just want to sort of guarantee passive upgrades from the bosses, but I do realize that Nose Goblin is a little too valuable. What was I trying to say, though? Yeah, blank card plus the moon could actually be valuable if we get, like, the bad draw from Broken Watch on our Delirium fight. If we get the I'm excited effect on the Delirium fight from the Broken Watch, we will be very, very glad to be able to teleport out of there and try and reset that. In fact, it may be worth it to just, like, keep trying to enter the Delirium fight and, like, warping out if we don't get the slowdown effect from the stopwatch. Just, like, give us the best possible option. That might be the way to do it. It might be an interesting strategy to try and employ here. Regardless, we're going to be against Triachnid first. Hardly even got that sentence out before he died, though, so, I mean, not that impressive, man. Got Monstro 2 here, a little more bulky, I would say, but not overly so. Bulky is such a weird word. How many things can you think of that you could describe as bulky in your life? Like, there's like when I think of the word bulky, I think of like a suitcase, like a really bulky suitcase or something. Just like totally overstuffed, overpacked, and it's just like bulging at the sides. But oftentimes you might think like of referring to a person as a bulky person. It's like, oh, that guy's real bulky. And it's not necessarily like an insult or anything, it's just sort of a judgment of character, which could be perceived as an insult, I suppose, depending on who you are. Depending on who you are. Turned into Shrek there for a moment. Donkey. Delirium is like an onion. It has many layers. There's Delirium, speaking of the devil. Alright, so go ahead and hop in here. We actually got the I'm excited effect on this room, hilariously enough. So Delirium is in the top right of the map. Good to know. Good to keep that in mind. I never actually considered how good Backstabber is against these night enemies, because you can only hit them from the back, obviously. So having a Backstabber to induce that bleed effect on them when you hit them in the back is actually really, really cool. I don't know if it's like game-breaking necessarily or like extremely powerful, but it's a nice little bonus, and I can imagine if you didn't have a ton of damage to work with, it might be sort of your ace in the hole against certain enemies like that. I could see Backstabber being potentially good. That's what I'm trying to say. But on this run, it's not super noticeable. What do you got? What do you got from me? What are the odds? Never tell me the odds, actually. I've never seen Star Wars. That's not even a joke, man. I think I've been over this before, but I never actually have seen like any of the Star Wars movies, except for Rogue One, because my friends wanted to go see that in the theaters, and they took me along, just like, hey, come on, I know we know you've never seen Star Wars, but it'll be fun. And it was a fun time, admittedly. It was actually a very good movie, but I don't think I got quite as much out of it as they did, having actually seen all the Star Wars movies. And I really don't know why I haven't seen the Star Wars movies. It's the same sort of thing I had with Lord of the Rings, I guess. I hadn't seen that in a very, very, like I should have seen it a lot sooner, is I guess what I'm trying to say, than I actually ended up seeing it. I only saw it maybe a year or so ago, all those movies. We did sort of like a little mini marathon, because you have to marathon those movies because they're so goddamn long. That's one thing about the Lord of the Rings movies, that they're very good, but I don't think they needed to be that long, personally. So we got Blank Card Yara here, which normally is a very, very good combination, but without anything to really use it on here, because we're not in the chest or anything, it's not going to be that beneficial to me. It might actually be worth it to just keep the moon, interestingly enough, in order to try and warp out of the Delirium fight if we find the need to. Which the only real reason we would have to would be because of Broken Watch. Cross that bridge when we come to it, though. But back on the topic at hand, or the tangent at hand, I suppose. Yeah, I hadn't seen those movies, Lord of the Rings, in so long, and I still have not seen Star Wars, which is really just egg on my face. Because, like, I imagine I would really like the movies, honestly. Like, they're right up my alley. They're total nerd movies, obviously. And I am a self-proclaimed nerd. I know, shocking. Oh, Blank Card Alges, though, is pretty tempting here. I think I'm going to go ahead and use blank card Alges for the Delirium fight instead of the teleport one. If I do end up getting the Broken Watch I'm excited effect, I'm going to be kicking myself for that decision probably, but until such a time, I think this will be the better option for us. So is it like 1 or 2 more boss fights here? Yeah, I don't know why I haven't seen the Star Wars movies. It's just like, I just never make time for them, I guess. I always have like something better or different that I would like to be doing. And it just never occurred to me, like, hey, go and watch these, man. Just set a day aside and go watch them. It's like, that's the thing. That I could have done that when I was younger, maybe. Now I don't have a day to set aside. I'm always busy. Always busy doing something or other. Of course, I suppose I found time to binge watch all of 13 Reasons Why, so why could I not watch Star Wars in that time instead? You got me, dude. You fucking got me. So AWAS is pretty worthless for us here. Go ahead and head up in this direction. There's only one more boss to fight before the Delirium fight. And it's actually like the nearest one to Delirium, so not too far of a trek between the two of them. That's another series I haven't seen is Star Trek. I just said the word Trek and got reminded of it. So how many other times do you ever hear the word Trek in day-to-day life? I mean, I actually use Trek like kind of all the time. Just in my own personal life. It's a little weird, I know, but it is what it is, man. Oh god. Don't let the big guy hit me. That's actually like 2 hearts of damage. As we learned the hard way once upon a time. There we go. What is this? It's an Ansu's room. I mean, I guess that's fine. A little bit late, but it does give us access to the super secret room down there at the very least. It's good to keep in mind. Do these skulls actually get faster when they're yellow like this? I don't think they do. They don't feel faster, but man, it's like mesmerizing to watch them when they're all golden and stuff like this. Gold members. Alright. Go ahead and head on in here. We got Brownie. Got Stopwatch Brownie even. Making this too easy on me, game. Come on now. Come on. Alright, we got Shade. That's our last item. Not super useful, but could come in clutch when we need it the most. You never know. We'll see. And I guess at this point, there's really not much else to do except check this room out, and then we're off to fight Delirium, boys. Secure that last Delirium victory that we actually need with the character. Kind of the end of an era, almost. I mean, I'm saying it like we've already won. I'm feeling fairly confident, especially with this Alges rune on my side. Okay, the music is not sped up or anything, so we just have a regular speed Delirium fight here, which I'm fine with. Yeah, I'm saying like I've already won, but I do feel very confident right now, admittedly. And it's not like this is the last time we'll ever fight Delirium. It's just like, now we'll only really fight Delirium if we feel strong enough to do so, which you do need to be fairly strong in order to consistently beat Delirium. So we may not see him as frequently as they have over the course of the series so far, but it's been a good run, man. You're a good boss. Is Alges done already? Man. Alright, well, I can pop the Alges rune like the rune itself, I mean, not the blank card version, at some point later on here if I need to. But for now, I just rely on my HP and an empty vessel to sort of carry me through here, because I do get some invincibility from that as well. If I get down to like half of a heart or so, or anywhere near that, I will definitely be popping Alges though. But for right now, let's put up a fun fight for Delirium as a sort of last hurrah in a sense. It's the last time we'll actually get anything out of beating him other than bragging rights, I suppose. I guess this is maybe a good time to like talk about Delirium in and of himself. Like, how is he? Is he a good boss? Because there's been a lot of discussion about Delirium ever since Afterbirth Plus came out as to whether or not he's like a good boss, realistically. Like story-wise, lore-wise, I think he is a very, very cool boss. I think like the idea behind Delirium is amazing. And I think he's actually very aesthetically cool too. I really, really dig the Delirium aesthetic. The implementation of the boss fight leaves a little to be desired. It's very difficult at times, for sure. If you don't have, like, extremely good DPS, you're not going to be in a position to defeat Delirium most of the time. It's, like, not even on the same level as, like Hush or Ultra Greed or any of those types of super bosses. It's, like, a whole nother league of its own, because those bosses, like, you do need high DPS in order to deal with them, but they're, like, they're slow, they're predictable, they're handleable. Delirium, you have no idea what he's going to do from one moment to the next, especially because, like, his fight pattern depends a lot on the bosses that you faced over the course of the run. And, like, even then, some bosses, when like, some Deliriumized bosses, they move so fast and do attacks so quickly that you really don't have much of a chance to dodge them, and it's like, I don't know. It's a tough fight to really classify. I enjoy the fight, personally. I don't know if it's objectively a good thing, though. I think I'm willing to admit defeat on that one. Regardless, got a Hagalaz rune at the end here for kicks and giggles. That's it, man. Delirium Blue Baby is done. We unlocked King Baby, has appeared in the basement. Sweet. King Baby's not a very good item, but, you know, it is what it is. So there's our post-it notes. I mean, I guess realistically, maybe I was a little preemptive there because we still got this fella to beat Delirium with, but that's going to be a little ways down the line, I would imagine. So still not going to see Delirium for a good while. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please leave a like and or comment down below. It really helps out the channel. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more as well. I post a single Isaac video every day at noon Mountain Time. So join me tomorrow for the next one. What we'll be doing tomorrow? Well, I'm not quite sure, honestly. I could do Lost runs. I could do Greedier mode runs, I guess. I could just try and mainline those, get them all done. Or I could start doing, like, daily runs or something. Let me know what you'd be interested in seeing. For now, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, so have yourselves a good day. This is ArgonMatrix, signing out. Thank you and good night.